I'm going to show you 6 kettlebell exercises that you can do from home with minimal space, focusing on the key movement patterns, total body workout that help with your golf development. So the hand plank crossover, we're going to focus on shoulder stability, trunk stability and stiffness to try and get upper body control and learn to resist through the core any excessive rotation. So first and foremost, we're going to go into a hand plank position, but with our hands close together and the feet as wide as possible. The wider the feet, the more stability you'll have. So finding something that's kind of challenging, but kind of easy enough to do. So if I just put my hands together, feet shoulder width, maybe wider, focus on trying to get the hips level with the back of the head. So not too high, certainly not too low, and then feel like you lock in the core. From there, in a controlled manner, you're going to reach underneath and slide the kettlebell across the body, trying to keep the core and the hips rock solid. So no excessive rotation, limited movement. So I grab that, pull with a little bit of power, keep everything stable, and repeat. This exercise is going to focus on low half stability and hip and trunk mobility. So start by taking something where you can wedge your back foot into, and it's going to give you stability. So I'm just using a bench, you can use a corner of a wall, something that's just going to be stable and not move. To begin with, put one foot into that corner to get your stability and take kind of a reasonably long stride forward with the opposite leg. So enough where you're not too close to the back foot. From there, we're just going to pick the kettlebell up, holding it in both hands, hanging down, and we're going to focus on pushing the hips back, keeping the front leg pretty much straight, can have a little bit of knee flex, and hinging over around about 45 degrees so the chest is starting to face the floor and the arms are just hanging down. From here, we're going to create a triangle between both arms and across the shoulders, and then we're going to try and create and keep that triangle by turning the chest into our front hip. So in this case, I'm going to turn to my left or right. So over, bit of control, keep stable, lock it out, and repeat. We're going to focus on a single leg variation of a hip hinge, which is going to really focus on posterior chain strength, so kind of glute and hamstrings, which are good for postural control, and a little bit of core-based stability. Take the kettlebell in one hand and put the same foot forward, so it's essentially in this position. The back foot, as you can see, is not a big stride. I can still keep my back foot pretty much flat, with my feet roughly hip width apart. From there, we're going to tiny bit of knee flex, and then we're going to create a hinge pattern, keeping the back straight by just pushing the hips back, reaching down as far as we can without the back rounding. So we keep stability. We feel probably a little bit of tension pulling in that hamstring, opposite hand across the chest, and then stand it up, powerful, coming down with a bit of control. This movement is going to focus on upper body pulling strength and trunk stability. Similar to the previous exercise, start with your feet hip width apart. We're going to hinge down, but this time far enough until our chest is facing the floor with the kettlebell in one hand. So we've got our back straight, core locked in. You can have your opposite hand across your chest or out to the side, it doesn't matter too much. And you're going to simply just row the kettlebell, feeling like you're trying to pull the elbow into the back pocket, locking it out, almost squeezing this kind of lat muscle, coming down, reaching to the floor without rotating. Keep everything solid, powerful up, lock it, and repeat. This movement is a lower half power exercise. We're going to take the kettlebell in both hands from side on, feet just past hip width apart. You can probably go a little bit wider if you need to. You're going to create a hinge motion and just let the kettlebell swing underneath the body naturally. If I show you this in slow motion, we're going to go there. I'm going to try and extend my hips as powerful as I can by almost jumping out the ground, which will create momentum on the kettlebell and swing it roughly to around about top of the abs, mid-trunk height. We shouldn't be lifting it up because that shows we're pulling it up with our arms. So if I show you this in a motion, power exercise, hinge, snap the hips, let the kettlebell swing without lifting it up. It's all about trying to push as hard as you can out of the ground through the hips. Final exercise of the routine focus on upper body shoulder strength and pushing strength, as well as something referred to as kind of anti-side bending, so the ability to control posture under different forces. There's two options to this depending on shoulder strength and how heavy your weight is. Option one is a bottoms up kettlebell press, so you're going to hold it in the handle, grip tight, you're going to lift it so it's kind of directly over your wrist. The kettlebell is going to want to move side to side, so it's a lot of grip strength. Standing tall, arm out to the side, we're just going to simply push the kettlebell overhead, full extension, and then bring it back down in the same position, trying to resist that kettlebell from moving. Alternatively, you can simply just take the kettlebell in the hand, palm facing the ceiling so it's twisted round, same setup, same motion, but an easier variation depending on what you have available. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the alert notifications for more content.